Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. Today I would like to presenting about my topic which is approximate estimating in construction. Before that, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Nur Amanina. My matric number is 2023498222. Before I start my presentation, I will briefly explain the table of contents. This presentation covers the introduction, methods, advantage, and limitation of approximate estimating. And then I will explain the application of the project scenario, including the floor area methods, calculation, and its reliability. Finally, I will conclude with the recommendation. Moving on to the introduction of approximate estimating. Approximate estimating refers to the process of estimating the probable cost of construction project during the early planning and design stage before detailed drawings and bill of quantity or BQ are prepared. This method is based on historical cost data, standard unit rates, and similar completed projects. It helps client and project teams to prepare an initial budget, assess project feasibility, and support cost planning and decision making. The purpose of approximate estimating at the early stage of construction project is to determine the financial feasibility of the proposed project and establish a preliminary project budget. Furthermore, it allows the comparison of different design options, construction methods, and materials. It also supports investment and funding decisions, provide a basis for cost planning before detailed estimates and tender documents are prepared, and helps control project costs from the beginning of. Following this, I will explain the methods of approximate estimating. Approximate estimating is usually carried out during the early stage of construction project when detailed drawings and bill of quantity or BQ are not yet available. It provides a quick estimation of the probable project cost to support feasibility studies, budgeting, and decision making. There are four common methods of approximate estimating, which is floor area method, cubic method, unit method, and story enclosure method. Firstly, the floor area method. This method estimates the construction cost by multiplying the gross floor area of the proposed building by the average construction project cost per square meter from similar completed projects. The formula used is estimate cost equals gross floor area in square meter multiplied by cost per square meter. This method is suitable for residential buildings, office buildings, schools, hospitals, commercial buildings, and yearly feasibility studies. For example, a proposed 3-story office building with a gross floor area of 2,400 square meter and average construction of cost 2,700 ringgit per square meter will have an estimate project cost of 6.48 million. Secondly, the cubic method, also known as the volume method. This method estimates the construction cost based on the total volume of the building instead of the floor area. It is more suitable for buildings with different floor height because it's considered the building height. The formula is estimate cost equals building volume in cubic meters multiplied by cost per cubic meter. This method is commonly applied for warehouse, industrial buildings, church, auditoriums, and buildings with different ceiling height. For example, a building with a floor area of 1,500 square meter and height of 9 meter will have a total volume of 13,500 cubic meter with an average cost of 700 ringgit per cubic meter. The estimate project cost is 9.45. Thirdly, the unit method. This method estimates the project cost based on the number of functional units such as hospital beds, classroom, hotel rooms, apartments of housing units. The formula used is estimate cost equals number of units multiplied by the cost per unit. This method is suitable for housing developments, hotels, hospitals, schools, and students' hostels. For example, a proposed apartment development with 120 units and average construction cost of 280,000 ringgit per unit will have an estimate project of 33.6 million ringgit. Lastly, we have the story enclosure method. This method estimates the construction cost by considering the total enclosed surface area of the building, including the floor, roof, and external walls. This method provides better accuracy compared to the floor area methods because it is considered the amount of building envelope required for the construction. It is suitable for multi-story buildings, high-rise office, hotels, and residential towers. For example, if the total enclosed area is 6,000 square meters with an average cost of 1,900 ringgit per square meter, the estimate project cost will be 11.4 million ringgit. In conclusion, each method of approximate estimating has its own application depending on the type of building, design, requirement, and the level accuracy needed. Advantages of approximate estimating. Firstly, the floor area method. The main advantage of this method is that it's quick, simple to prepare. It only requires the total floor area of the building, make it suitable for feasibility studies and early project planning. This method also allows easy comparison of costs between similar building projects and is widely used for residential and commercial buildings. Secondly, the cubic method. This method considers both the floor area and the building height, making it more accurate compared to the floor area method. It is suitable for buildings with different story height and provides better estimate for projects such as warehouse, factories, and multi-story buildings where building volume affects construction costs. Thirdly, the unit method. The unit method is easy and fast to calculate. It is suitable for projects with standard units such as cost per hospital bed, classroom, hotel room, or parking space. This method is useful for budgeting during the stage because it requires only minimal project information. Lastly, we have the story enclosure method. This method considers the floor area, building height, walls, and roof area. It provides more reliable estimates for multi-story buildings because it reflects the actual building size more accurately. It is suitable for buildings with different story height. Limitation of approximate estimating. For the floor area method, the main limitation is that it may become less accurate if the building design differs from similar previous project. It does not consider differences in building height, quality, or complexity. Therefore, the accuracy depends heavily on reliable historical cost data and it is not suitable for complex or irregular building design. For the cubic method, this method requires building volume calculation, which make it more time-consuming. Its accuracy depends on correct measurements of building height and volume. It is also less suitable for irregular or complex buildings and require reliable historical cost information. For the unit method, this method does not consider differences in building design, quality, and specification. It may produce less accurate estimate for unique or non-standard project. The reliability of this method depends on the availability of accurate unit cost data from previous projects. For the story enclosure method, the main limitation is that it is more complex and time-consuming compared to the floor area method. It requires additional information such as wall and roof area. It is also less suitable for irregular building design and depends on accurate historical application to the project scenario, shop office development project. This project involves the construction of two-story shop office building consisting of 4 units located at Gertak 100 Kuala Besut, Terengganu. The project information is used as a basis for applying the approximate estimating method to determine the preliminary construction cost during the early stage of project planning. This scenario demonstrates how approximate estimating methods can be applied to estimate the project cost when detailed drawings and bill of quantities or BQ are not yet available. The formula used is approximate cost equals total floor area multiplied by the rate unit area. First, we calculate the floor area. The building length is obtained by adding 8.200 meter, 6.096 meter, 6.096 meter and 6.096 meter giving total length of 26.48 meter. The building width is 21.873 meter. Therefore, the floor area for one story is 26.488 meter multiplied by 21.873 meter, which equal 579.37 square meter. Since the building has two story, the total floor area is 1,158.74 square meter. Next, the per unit area for this estimate is 1,900 ringgit per square meter. The approximate construction cost for one story is 579.37 square meter multiplied by 1,900 ringgit per square meter, which equals 1,100,803 ringgit. Finally, the total construction cost for the story building is 2,201,606 ringgit. In conclusion, the estimate construction for this project is using the floor area method is 2,201,606 ringgit. Reliability of the floor area estimate. The reliability of the floor area method estimate is affected by several factors, which is location. Construction costs vary depending on location. Labor rates, transportation costs, and material availability can affect the total cost. Next is inflation. Increase in inflation may raise the price of materials, labor, and equipment. Outdated rates may cause the estimate cost to be lower than the actual cost. Next, material cost. Price of materials such as cement, steel, and concrete may change due to market condition. Fluctuation in material prices can affect project costs. Next, labor costs. Change in wages and skilled labor availability can influence construction expenses. Next, design and specification. Floor area method only consider building size. It does not include detailed design, finishes, complexity, or special requirements. Lastly, we have market conditions. Economic change, supply issue, and contractor pricing may cause difference between estimate and actual conclusion. To conclude, approximate estimating is used to provide an yearly estimate of construction project costs before detailed drawings and bill of quantities are available. The main methods include the floor area, cubic, unit, and story enclosure methods, which are useful for feasibility studies, preliminary budgeting, and comparing project costs. For this project, the floor area method estimate the construction cost at 2,201,606 million ringgit. This method is simple, quick, and suitable for the yearly planning stage. However, its accuracy depends on several factors such as project location, inflation, material and labor costs, market conditions, and building complexity. Therefore, approximate estimate should only be used as a guide for initial planning and not as the final project cost. For recommendation, to improve the accuracy of cost estimation, updated construction cost data and current market rates should always be used. The estimating method should be selected based on project characteristics, while factors such as location, inflation, and material price should also be considered. In addition, a contingency allowance should be included to cover unexpected cost increase. As the project progresses, more detailed estimating methods such as quantity takeoff or elemental estimating should be carried out. Finally, estimate should be reviewed regularly, and experienced quantity surveyors or estimators should be involved to ensure more accurate and reliable cost estimates. That's all from my presentation today. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.